The 5 a.m. Mindset, Section 1. There is a moment every morning when the world is completely quiet. The streets are still, the phones are silent, and most people are still asleep. But you are awake. It is 5 a.m., and you have a choice. You can turn off the alarm, close your eyes, and promise yourself that tomorrow will be different. Or you can get up and begin. That decision may look small, but it is powerful. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are teaching your mind who is in control. The 5 a.m. mindset is not about waking up early just to say you did it. It is about becoming a person who keeps promises to himself. Think about how often you say, "I will start tomorrow. Tomorrow I will study. Tomorrow I will exercise. Tomorrow I will work on my dream. Tomorrow I will stop wasting time." But tomorrow keeps moving. Your life does not wait for the perfect moment. Your goals do not care whether you feel motivated. Your future is created by what you repeatedly do. When the alarm rings, your bed becomes a test. Your mind will give you reasons to stay there. You are tired. You need more sleep. You can do it later. Just 5 more minutes. But discipline does not ask what feels comfortable. Discipline asks what matters. When you get up, you are making a statement: my goals are more important than my temporary comfort. You are choosing your future over your feelings. One morning will not change your life. One workout will not transform your body. One study session will not build your career. But one disciplined day followed by another, and another, and another, can completely change the direction of your life. Success is built through small decisions that nobody notices. The people you admire learned to show up even when they did not feel like it. They learned to work when nobody was watching. They learned to continue after motivation disappeared. That is the real 5 a.m. mindset. It is not about the clock. It is about discipline. It is about self-control. It is about becoming stronger than your excuses. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, remember this: your first victory of the day is not achieving your biggest goal. Your first victory is winning the battle inside your own mind. Get up. Take a breath. Stand tall. Begin. Your future is being built in the moments nobody sees, and here is where the real transformation begins. When you wake up early, do not immediately reach for your phone. Give yourself a few quiet minutes before the world starts demanding your attention. Think about your goals. Think about the person you want to become. Ask yourself one simple question: what can I do today that will make tomorrow better? It could be studying one more chapter, exercising for 30 minutes, working on your business, learning a new skill, or simply finishing something you have been avoiding. You do not need to change your entire life in one morning. You only need to take one step forward. The 5 a.m. mindset, Section 2. The hardest part of waking up at 5 a.m. is not opening your eyes. The hardest part is deciding what you will do after you open them. Because waking up early means nothing if you spend those extra hours scrolling through your phone, watching random videos, checking messages, and allowing other people's lives to consume the time you promised yourself. The morning should belong to you. Before the world tells you what to think about, decide what deserves your attention. Before the notifications begin, give yourself a chance to hear your own thoughts. This is why the first hour of your day can become one of the most powerful hours of your life. You are not rushing. You are not reacting. You are preparing. Imagine waking up while most people are still sleeping. You drink water. You wash your face. You stretch your body. You sit quietly for a few minutes. Then you write down your priorities. You know exactly what you need to accomplish. There is no confusion. There is no endless scrolling. There is only you and the work that matters. This is how you begin developing self-control. You stop allowing your environment to control your behavior. You start controlling your environment. And that difference is enormous. Most people live reactively. They wake up and immediately check their phone. They answer messages before thinking about their own priorities. They consume content before creating anything of their own. They spend the first part of the day giving their attention away. Then, by the time they finally try to work on their goals, their mind is already exhausted. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches you to reverse that pattern. Create before you consume. Think before you react. Work before you entertain yourself. Give your dreams the best part of your energy instead of giving your leftovers to them. But remember, waking up at 5 a.m. is not a competition. You do not become better than someone simply because they wake up later. Some people naturally need more sleep, and your body needs proper rest to function well. The goal is not to destroy your sleep schedule just to copy someone else's routine. The goal is to build a disciplined morning routine that works for your life. If 5 a.m. allows you to create quiet time, use it. If another schedule works better for you, use that. The clock is not the hero. Your consistency is. What matters is that you stop making excuses and start protecting time for the things that can change your future. Your morning routine should remind you of where you are going. When you exercise, you are building strength. When you study, you are building knowledge. When you read, you are expanding your mind. When you plan, you are creating direction. When you sit in silence, you are learning to control your thoughts. None of these actions may feel dramatic in the beginning. Nobody may notice. Nobody may clap for you. Nobody may even know that you woke up early and worked while everyone else was sleeping. And that is exactly the 5 a.m. mindset. Section 4. There will come a morning when getting out of bed feels harder than ever. Your body will feel tired. Your mind will search for an excuse. And that familiar voice will tell you that one more hour of sleep will not matter. But that is exactly when your mindset is being tested. Discipline is easy when everything feels good. Real discipline appears when you are uncomfortable, when you are tired, when progress feels invisible, and when nobody is there to push you forward. You have to learn that your feelings are information, not instructions. Feeling tired does not always mean you should quit. Feeling afraid does not mean you should stop. Feeling unmotivated does not mean you cannot take action. You can feel all of those things and still move forward. That is strength. Many people spend their lives waiting to feel ready. They wait until they feel confident before starting. They wait until they have enough money, enough knowledge, enough time, or enough support. But the perfect moment rarely arrives. If you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, you may spend years standing in the same place. The 5 a.m. mindset teaches you to begin before you feel completely ready. You wake up, you take the first step, and you allow confidence to grow through action. Think about the first day you tried something difficult. You probably did not know exactly what you were doing. You made mistakes. You felt uncomfortable. Maybe you even wanted to quit. But after repeating the process, something changed. You became better. That is how every skill is built. Nobody begins as an expert. Nobody starts with perfect discipline. Nobody becomes mentally strong overnight. Strength is developed through repetition. Every time you choose the difficult action that moves you closer to your goal, you are training your brain. You are creating a pattern. And eventually, what once felt difficult begins to feel normal. That is when transformation happens. You stop fighting yourself every morning because discipline becomes part of who you are. But there is another enemy you must learn to recognize: distraction. The modern world is designed to capture your attention. Your phone is always waiting. There is always another video, another message, another notification, another reason to stop what you are doing. And if you do not protect your attention, someone else will use it for their benefit. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If you spend hours consuming other people's lives, you will have less time to build your own. If you constantly compare yourself to people online, you will forget your own journey. If you spend every free moment looking for entertainment, you may never discover what you are capable of creating. This is why the quiet morning matters. It gives you a chance to remember who you are before the outside world starts competing for your attention. Use that time wisely. The truth is, your morning routine is only the beginning. The real challenge starts when the morning ends and life becomes noisy again. Anyone can feel motivated when the sun is rising and everything feels fresh. But what happens at 2 p.m. when you are tired? What happens when your plans become difficult? What happens when nobody is encouraging you? That is where discipline proves itself. You must learn to carry the energy of your morning into the rest of your day. The purpose of waking up early is not simply to have a productive morning. It is to train yourself to become consistent throughout the entire day. When you make your bed, complete your workout, study, read, or work on your goals before most people begin their day, you create momentum. And momentum is powerful. One completed task makes the next task easier. One disciplined decision makes another disciplined decision easier. Slowly, you stop seeing discipline as something painful and start seeing it as part of your identity. You begin saying, I am someone who finishes what I start. I am someone who does not quit when things become difficult. I am someone who can control my attention. That identity matters because your behavior usually follows the way you see yourself. If you constantly tell yourself that you are lazy, weak, distracted, or incapable, your actions will eventually follow those beliefs. But if you begin proving to yourself that you can be disciplined, your confidence starts growing. Confidence is not always something you find. Sometimes you build it. You build it by doing difficult things repeatedly. You build it by keeping promises when nobody is watching. You build it by choosing the harder right decision instead of the easier wrong one. And this is where the 5 a.m. mindset becomes bigger than waking up early. It becomes a philosophy for life. When you are tempted to quit your workout, remember why you started. When you want to procrastinate on your studies, remember the future you are building. When you feel like giving up on your dream because progress is slow, remember that slow progress is still progress. You do not need to become perfect. You need to become persistent. There will be mornings when you fail. There will be days when you sleep through the alarm. There will be weeks when your routine falls apart. Do not use those moments as proof that you cannot change. Use them as proof that you are human. Start again. The strongest people are not people who never struggle. They are people who have learned how to restart. Your life can change because of one decision, but it will be transformed by repeated decisions. So protect your mornings, but more importantly, protect your standards. Decide what kind of person you want to become, and then make choices that match that person. If you want to become successful, start behaving like someone who takes responsibility for their future. If you want to become strong, stop running away from every difficult situation. The morning is powerful, but what you do with the rest of your day is what truly determines your future. You can wake up at 5 a.m., exercise, read, plan your goals, and still lose the entire day if you allow distractions to take control. Discipline must continue after sunrise. You have to carry the same focus into your studies, your work, your conversations, and your decisions. Remember, success is not created during one perfect morning. It is created through hundreds of ordinary days, when you continue doing what needs to be done. There will be days when you feel unstoppable, and there will be days when you question everything. Do not expect every day to feel powerful. Your responsibility is not to control how you feel. Your responsibility is to control what you do. When motivation disappears, let your habits carry you. When confidence disappears, let your commitment carry you. When results are slow, let your patience carry you. You may not see the reward immediately, but every disciplined action is creating something inside you. You are becoming more focused. You are becoming more patient. You are becoming more reliable. You are becoming someone who can trust himself. And that is one of the greatest forms of confidence you can have. Imagine reaching a point where you no longer have to make promises about what you are going to do. You simply do it. You study because you decided to study. You exercise because you decided to exercise. You work because you decided to work. You stop making excuses because you understand that excuses do not build the future you want. This is the level of discipline you should chase. Not perfection. Not applause. Not attention. Just consistency. Your journey will also require sacrifice. You cannot have unlimited entertainment and unlimited achievement at the same time. You cannot spend every evening scrolling and expect to wake up with extraordinary results. You cannot constantly choose comfort and expect your life to become uncomfortable in a good way. Every great result has a price. Sometimes the price is your time. Sometimes it is your comfort. Sometimes it is saying no when everyone else is saying yes. Sometimes it is working quietly while others are having fun. But sacrifice does not mean you stop enjoying life. It means you understand what deserves priority. You can have fun. You can rest. You can spend time with people you love. But you also need moments when you choose your future. That is what the 5 a.m. mindset represents. It represents choosing purpose before distraction. It represents choosing progress before comfort. It represents choosing the person you want to become over the person you have been. And every morning gives you another chance to make that choice. So when tomorrow arrives, do not think about the entire journey. Do not worry about how far you still have to go. Just focus on the next step. Wake up. Get out of bed. Drink some water. Breathe deeply. Remember your purpose.